This week on Hooligan Nation, we brought the smoke show. So someone call out the firehouse, because I promise you it's going to get hotter than hell up in here. The ladies of KISS coming up. Stay tuned, because you got
nothing to lose.
Oh, you got nothing to lose.
Got
you got
nothing.
You wanted the best? Well, they retired. So you got two dudes in a garage.
Talking KISS. Welcome back to Hooligan Nation, a KISS-Centric podcast. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Rocco.
You're still him. This week is definitely a show that you're going to want to watch instead of listen to. The working title for this episode is The Smoke Show, The Ladies of KISS. Yep, we are going to go there. But first, how about a recap of the last episode? You got anything you want to add about last week's episode, Crazy Nights?
Just that again, I was a little disappointed listening to me, the overall take on it. that it was like a movie soundtrack, chick 80s flick type of album. Very polished. There's some really good stuff and there's some stuff that could be I could do without, but there's not one part of Bruce Kulick on that album I could do without, because he really shined in that album and carried it to me.
Well, I kind of have to disagree with you a little bit. There is one thing from that album that I could do without that has to do with Bruce Kulick. I could do without the radioactive leisure suit.
Somehow I knew you were going to go there.
Yeah, I mean, I could do without that. I'm pretty sure Bruce could do without that too. I'm pretty sure the world could do without that. Do you ever think to yourself, and this is me being me again, but I just wonder, like, does Bruce still have that?
It's interesting. I mean, I'm sure they have. I guarantee they have a KISS warehouse where they carry a lot of their old stuff. So if he doesn't have it himself, I would imagine it's like in a KISS warehouse somewhere.
These are the questions that we would ask guests that no one else asks. You know that? Like, could you imagine Bruce's face? Bruce, for my first question, do you still have the radioactive leisure suit from Crazy Night Store? Of all the questions that you could ask me, yeah, that's the one I'm going to start with.
Hey, at least it's different questions. I'm sure they're used to getting asked the same questions over and over again.
I don't really have anything about Crazy Nights. It's better than I remembered it to be. For me, it's not great, but it's not terrible. I think there's a few good songs on it. It's not even really a good song, bad song thing.
It's an edge thing.
Yeah, and to me that translates to memorable as compared to not memorable.
You know what popped in my head? And this hooligans, you can chime in the comments too. Not just an album. What personality of KISS do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy the disco personality? Do you enjoy the edgy Creatures of the Night personality? Do you enjoy the chick flick 80s Crazy Nights? I think for me, it made it really hard going into this album, coming off of Lick It Up and Creatures, and then Animalize and Asylum. I felt like it got really, really just commercial. The videos changed that band a lot.
I think videos changed every band.
Yeah, that's true. MTV, I miss MTV in the format that it used to be, but it definitely made, well, what did we talk about last week, right? The ballads. Every freaking metal band had to have a power ballad. That was the thing.
Sure.
Because of the video.
To me, it's not only because of the video, it's because it worked. So
True.
even if there wasn't an MTV, if that, for lack of a better term, if that script works, everybody's going to jump onto the bandwagon.
Sure.
And say, well, we can do that.
Well, and I'm sure there were bands out there, dude, that did not want to do that, but their management are like, listen, we're in this to make money, and you need to do that.
You got any news?
I do. A lot of KISS fans probably already know about this, but KISS celebrates 50 years of Strutter. with ultra pure gold edition and limited gold plated edition, 24 karat gold record. It's pretty cheap. So it's going for $50,000.
Oh, no. Did you say gold plated?
Gold plated.
The gold plated records, they are going to sell 500 of them. And I believe they are $2,500.
So what did I say? That was 50.
The 24 karat gold solid,
Oh, okay. My bad, guys.
there is a limit of 5,
Oh, wow.
and they are $50,000 a piece. But trust me when I say this, if those 5 sell, there'll be 5 more. They'll come up with 5 more if those 5 sell.
That's probably right.
And if I know KISS fans the way I think I know KISS fans, they'll sell.
I know that they did pretty well in the air guitar strings too.
Yeah, I mean, they made millions on air guitar strings.
Wow.
Got
any
anything
news?
else?
No, that's it for news. What you guys think for news?
Yeah, I don't really have anything. We just talked before you went on air about the Richard Marx thing, and I think we brought that up in last week's episode, and I have yet to actually watch the interview completely, so I won't comment on it or put it in the news. The one thing I do want to say is this is not KISS related in any way, but I'm becoming such a fanboy. Billy Corgan's podcast just debuted their 3rd episode. He interviewed Sharon Osbourne, who, by the way, looks like an alien, if you ask me.
It's a good interview
though. It is possible to get too much plastic surgery. And, look, just go on YouTube. It's called The Magnificent Others with Billy Corgan. I know we do this for a lot of things and it probably gets annoying, but if you listen to me and you watch the interview with Sharon Osbourne, as soon as you're done with it, I want you to come over to Hooligan Nation to this episode and just put a comment in about what you think about Sharon's appearance. Can be good or it can be bad. Just an opinion. Like, you don't gotta beat her down. You don't gotta go out of your mind over it, because I'm trying not to. I mean, the woman's like 70 years old, and the part that I will say is she looks like she's about 45. But she also looks Asian, because her face has been pulled back so far, and I'm pretty sure that she can't blink. It was really bad to me. Maybe not to everybody else, but it was bad to me.
No,
in
I
that
noticed
way.
it too, but I watched the interview. Side note, Billy Corgan was meant to do that.
Oh,
I recommend his programs, guys.
he's 3 for 3. I mean,
Yeah.
he brought on 3 people that I genuinely like. I watched that podcast for him. Like, he really could interview a poodle, and I think I would be interested in it. Just the thought that goes in it and the research that goes in it.
And nothing's left on the table. He is
Yeah.
complete. And he's also one of us. He's also a big time KISS fan too. That helps.
He's I mean, he just kills it. He knocks it out of the park. And he's so far, like I said, he's brought on 3 genuinely interesting people.
The bottom line is we're definitely giving him a huge endorsement, and I definitely think you'd enjoy it.
I'm sure Billy appreciates the endorsement from the Hooligan Nation
Yeah, he'll be on our show at some
podcast.
point. He'll be on our show
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, actually, I just keep getting emails from Billy Corgan. Hey, can I come on the show? And I keep pushing him off. Like, dude, we're really busy.
We're not going to hold our breath on that one.
Yeah, we gotta do the ladies of KISS. We don't have time to deal with you. You're just a pumpkin. It's not even near Halloween. We'll start talking to you in like late September, early October. Although I have to give you credit because you got your pumpkin shirt on.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It says Faith on it if you're curious.
Is that what it said? It just looks like a pumpkin. I mean, we could
That's
carve you up.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I'll be regretting this episode is what you're saying.
It'll be too late once you regret it, so it'll be
Yeah.
okay. That shirt's gonna make its premiere in the trailer, and I promise you, people are gonna flock to the full episode just because you're wearing that shirt.
Well, that's not the reason I did it, but okay. That works.
I promise you. You know why?
Why?
People love train wrecks. Music we're
Wonderful.
listening to.
I am listening to a band called The End Machine. They're really good, and George Lynch plays guitar with it. Jeff Pilson is in it. Their singer's name is Garish Pradhan. His vocals is a cross between Joe Lynn Turner and Jeff Keith of Tesla. It's really good.
Wow.
It's got classic George Lynch riffs on it. Black Hole Extinction, Silent Winter, Killer of the Night is my favorite so far on it, and Burning Man is really good. If you guys don't know already, George Lynch is one of my favorites. So
he likes him because he's Mr. Scary.
New
You
music?
ready? Nah, I don't really have anything.
We can rely on Stranded though every day though, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Still killing that. Actually, to be honest with you, dude, I'm listening to a lot of
Barry Manilow again.
No. A lot of Jackal, a lot of Jesse James Dupree, 2000 and I think it's 2024 solo album. It started with Stranded, but it's now moved on. And of course, partly work related and partly from my own enjoyment, I'm listening to, the Kiss albums that we have coming up for reviews and Kiss videos and live shows and stuff like that, and to prepare for this episode for the last couple weeks, I've been listening to a certain 1980s pop star, just in full preparation, and I'll give you a hint, just a hint. Oh, that's all you get.
Well, can we get to a little
No.
another innuendo? A little bit of Jimi Hendrix. Foxy Lady.
Oh, yes. I've been listening to her a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've been watching the music videos.
So you want to? Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
No, you're not. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. We got to keep them. If you want to know who this is, you have to wait to the end of the episode. See, that's how professional podcasters.
Where?
No, not here. But I'm learning that's how professional podcasters at least try to get people to watch the whole video. So I thought, we'll just throw that out there and see if that works.
And to keep you guys watching, we've been thinking about juggling and doing some other stuff, but it's still in the works.
Yeah. We're going to have some wrestling tournaments on here soon. Whatever we got to do. We're going to get the baby oil out and the G-strings out, and we're going to start streaking around the Zoom cameras. No, it's good. But
you're going to get a special guest that week. I'll be out.
You don't. You can just wear that orange shirt. That's good enough.
Okay, I could do that. I'll be honest. If I'm being honest with you, the only reason I'm wearing it is because it's very hot in here right now, and it's a cutoff shirt. That's the only reason I put it on.
Hey, whatever, man. Like, you know what? I'm pretty sure your orange shirt will work out better than my yellow sweatshirt did. Like,
oh my God, I remember that. Yeah, that's my eyes are still bothering me from that one.
Oh yeah, trust me. Or the one. Look, for everybody that watches us, I said this a couple episodes about Gene. So let me get this out of the way. I do not wear this hat or these hats because I'm trying to be cool. I do it because the lights reflect off my bald head, and it looks terrible on camera.
Would you like me to say the comment that my mother thought?
What?
you were doing, I forget what the heck you were doing, but you were like back in the camera and you look like Casper. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was so
dude, we did a mid video ad or I think it was something like that.
yes.
Oh my God, I needed a tan. It was terrible. I was like, I can't put this out here. Like I thought like people were gonna actually have terrible, horrible comments to make about me.
Yeah, I think we were gonna go to makeup too.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, you start incorporating. I mean, for anybody that doesn't know this, and I'm pretty for sure that nobody really cares. But to do this, you have to have lights, and neither one of us know what the hell we're doing. We've never done any of this before. You buy lights
It's a work
off
in
of
progress.
wherever you buy lights. In our case, I bought lights off of Amazon, and you have no idea how to set it up. And I'm like I think most middle-aged men are. I don't read directions. I don't take direction well. So I put all these lights up, man, and after like 2 or 3 episodes, I had to go learn lighting a little bit. And even when I learned lighting, it didn't help. I had to put something on my head. I don't know if you guys are ever going to see me without a hat on in this podcast because of that, because the bright lights just reflect off the top of my head, and it's distracting to me during filming. Like
Well,
that's pretty bad.
and I wear hats a lot too because I'm receding and I don't want to have to be like Kiss and have to wear wigs. So
Ouch. Anyhow, let's get to our main event.
the women of Kiss. And for the record, this is, and correct me if I'm wrong and you cut this out. These are women that were somewhat substantial to each member, not necessarily just groupies.
Yeah, well, so the bottom line of this, I searched the internet. I did as good as I could do. It is definitely not a complete list. I'm going to read pretty much a pre-written statement for anybody that's lining themselves up to get butthurt over this episode. And it reads as follows. Today's episode is a lighthearted break from our usual. This episode is not intended to be tabloid fodder in any way. And as a blanket statement, no one should consider any of this information as a fact. Anyone with any life experience at all knows that part of what shapes you as a person is your relationships and who you spend time with. Both good and bad relationship experiences help to mold you and change you for better or worse. We have, and you should also consider most of this information as rumors. Having said that, some of this information is truly mind-blowing and hopefully entertaining. We had an interesting experience researching this. So sit back, crack open a money bag soda, or pour yourself a Kiss cold gin, and let's have some fun today looking into the extracurricular activities of the members of KISS.
I want to have some fun. Hold on. Wait, what is it?
If you start moving your body on the screen, this episode could go all night long. Look, seriously, people, seriously, this is going to come across probably, hopefully not, but probably as two middle-aged dudes doing a misogynistic episode that has nothing to do with the music. It's really not meant to be that. Now, Kiss didn't mess with many ugly chicks, so that helps. But we thought it would be an interesting topic because there is a correlation in some cases, Gene Simmons, between who he spent time with and how he navigated his career. We also know that in the case of Paul, who we both love, so let's not get on the we're the haters, but Paul's got a lot of feelings, an overabundance of them. At least to me, between reading his book and looking into his past relationships, in some cases, it really answers why he has all of those feelings. So if you're still with us, And if you intend on staying to the end, keep an open mind to the fact that this isn't all about sight. A lot of it is about information, and at least to me, the information was I thought it was very good information, personally.
Can I make one other point?
Yeah.
Just to caveat onto what he just said there. The other thing is there's a lot of KISS podcasts out there, and there's a lot of different information out there. And this is a subject that's really never been covered. He brought that to my attention. So hopefully it regardless of the whole, visual parts of it, hopefully you'll find it interesting to see, some of the relationships and stuff and people they were with.
Look, and I'll come out here and say this right now. There's a lot of KISS podcasts. There's a lot of very good KISS podcasts. I'm not sure if we're one of them. I hope we're going to be one of them at some point. To strive to be the best in a market that is completely flooded is almost impossible. So what we're striving to do is be different. Now, we're not going to sell our souls to be different. This is a subject that really interests me. And I mean, I'll be honest about it. It really interests me because of 3 or 4 women, and that's where the research started. But I think we have 56 women between the members of KISS. That's a lot of women. And look, some of them are groupies,
It's a lot of years as a band too.
but some of them are international superstars. Some of them are models. Some of them are school teachers. It was a very well-rounded, interesting subject to me. So if I'm wrong, our retention rate will suck and nobody will watch this, and I'll go back to the drawing board and try to come up with better ideas. But if I'm right, I think it's going to be a good episode. And since we tried to record this last week and some idiot screwed up and never hit the record button, so we spent 2.5 hours recording nothing. That was our practice session. So now we can start with the final polished version of this. Hey, let me ask you a question.
What do you got?
Do you YouTube?
I'm always on YouTube.
When you YouTube, how do you support the YouTubers that you like?
If I find something I dig, I subscribe to it and I hit like right away.
That's a great idea. I'm sure the creators appreciate your support.
I would think so.
You think maybe now's a good time to ask everyone in the audience to support us?
Absolutely.
To everyone in the audience, please subscribe to our little channel. And while you're there, hit the like button.
We're enjoying what we're doing and we want to continue to grow the hooligan community.
We appreciate all your support.
Absolutely.
So as always, hit it, Curly.
All right. So we're going to start with the member that had the least amount of time in KISS, Mark St. John. Let me just get the pages. Wasn't able to find anything on Mark St. John.
No.
Very little information about Mark St. John. But now, so we'll go on to Eric Singer. Eric Singer, again, not a lot of information found. I think some of the stuff is actually guarded. I guess maybe they don't want their personal stuff out there, and there may be some stuff blocked. But there was some information. He is married to Geraldine Schofield, and we located one picture off of social media on her. That's pretty much what we got for Eric Singer.
It was really impossible, at least for me, to find out how long they've been married or anything. She's a pretty lady. I will say that. I thought she was. There is not an overabundance of information about Eric's personal life at all, which was a little shocking to me because everybody else wasn't a lot easier, but everybody else was easier than Mark St. John, that there's nothing out there for.
Right. And he's been in the music business a long time, not just with KISS too.
There was just nothing out there about Mark St. John pretty much at all. And Eric Singer also had very little. So either way, congratulations, Eric Singer. I believe they've been married for a while at least.
All right. So next we have Tommy Thayer. He's married to Amber. in 2006, and they have since divorced. Amber has been in previous relationships with guitarist Steve Lukather.
Steve Lukather comes up again. I can only find one picture of Amber, but Amber looks cute. Couldn't find out what happened with their relationship or anything.
And she got a pretty smile.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. She's not Vivian. Just saying.
All right. Speaking of Vivian, that's who's next. Tommy is currently in a relationship with Vivian Kibitz, and they have a daughter together. Tommy has one other previous relationship that we could find with Devin D. Velasquez. Some info about Devin. She's 61 years old and was the Playboy Playmate of the Month in June 1985. She went on to have an acting and producing career. Dee Velasquez garnered 4 Daytime Emmy Award nominations as a producer on the Amazon Prime series The Bay. Devin dated rock star Prince in 1985 and Sylvester Stallone in 1988. She married model Randall Sanford in 1989 and then divorced him before she married actor and musician Ron Moss on September 25th, 2009.
Once again, congratulations, Tommy Thayer. Being the
Yeah.
guitar player from KISS does not hurt your chances with beautiful women.
That's for sure.
But Devin, let's talk about Devin.
Yeah, well, Playboy Playmate. She definitely is beautiful.
Look, Devin's hot. Let's get that out of the way right now. I just want to know how the hell Devin goes from Prince to Sylvester Stallone.
That's an interesting twist.
I guess she doesn't have a type.
I guess not.
And if she does, I guess the type is celebrity.
Big stars, yeah, big, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but Prince in 1985, Sylvester Stallone in 1988. And here's a hint, we will talk about Devin in the near future.
Vinnie Vincent. Vinnie was married to Anne-Marie Cusano, Vinnie's real last name. Vinnie was married to Anne-Marie Peters, who went missing at age 43 on January 2nd, 1998, and was discovered murdered 2 years later. He has twin daughters with her, born 1982.
Anne-Marie was a pretty woman.
Yeah,
number one. And that's what I'm talking about, how relationships shape you. Everybody, I think it's almost universally thought Vinny's an enigma. And this may be part of the enigma. I mean, I believe he was divorced from her at the time, but still, it's the mother of your children. I think she was missing for 2 years. From what I know about it, they did find her murderer. He was arrested, charged, convicted, and I believe he is in prison for life. I believe it was in Connecticut. There'll be no jokes.
Definitely not.
Because of the situation. You can't tell me it doesn't affect the person.
It's the mother of his children. Absolutely.
Right. And in Vinny's case, it may give us a hint to why he became such a recluse. And,
that's a good point.
Why he's just weird. He's weird. Look, it's 2025. Vinny's still weird.
So Vinny got married again to Diane Kiro, eventually Diane Cusano, Vinny's last name. In 1996, he married his second wife, Diane Kiro, former girlfriend of Ace Frehley. Vincent and Kiro first met at a KISS convention in Chicago the previous year. The two resided in Smyrna, Tennessee until her death from alcohol-related complications on January 13, 2014. She was only 47 years old. So again, lightning struck twice to Vinny.
I have to admit, after doing the research,
it is sad.
I kind of give Vinny a partial pass. It does answer a lot of questions, at least for me, of why he is the way he is.
I mean, talk about bad luck. I mean, both of these women, they were under 50 years old. It's way too early to pass on, All right. So that's pretty much what we got for Vinny. All right. So next we got Bruce Kulick, Tori Weigel. It's just a rumor. Weigel appeared on the cover of the November 1985 issue of Playboy and was a Playboy Playmate for April 1986. She also appeared in a number of Playboy videos. She subsequently had several minor roles in mainstream film, including Predator 2, Marked for Death, with Steven Seagal, and made several appearances as Jade on Married with Children. She is the second playmate to also appear in Penthouse magazine, and she is gorgeous. You can see her. You can see the picture of here. She's definitely a beautiful woman.
Terry's hot.
And then next we have Bruce's wife, Lisa Kulick. Bruce is married to Lisa Lane Kulick. They met in 2008 and were married in 2014. They often perform together at events and online. I've listened to it myself. She has a really nice voice. So yeah, that's what we have. Bruce.
I've never heard Lisa sing.
He has his own channel, and I think they did a Christmas song. I heard them do together. He played acoustic to it. It's pretty good.
I'll have to check that out. Lisa's a pretty lady, though.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said before, like these guys aren't messing with any ugly women. I'm sure that the female rock stars aren't messing with any ugly guys, just in case anybody wants to say that I'm sexist.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all relative.
So congratulations, Bruce.
Yes.
You look like you caught a good one.
And then we'll go to Eric Carr. Eric Carr was with Charisse. He dated her around the time he joined KISS. She is rumored to have been a Donna Summer lookalike performer, and she's a shoe. That's actually, before I read this, I thought it was Donna Summer. She looks like she could be a twin easily.
Oh, she definitely looks like Donna Summer to me. Yeah. I had to look twice because I thought it was the real Donna Summer.
That being said, beautiful. I've always thought Donna Summer was beautiful too. So
yeah, me too.
Right, and then Eric was with Teresa Conroy. Not much info to be found on Teresa, other than she dated Eric in 1985, and she was a journalist of some kind.
Yeah, I have a question for the hooligans out there, because I tried to cross-reference this from a story that I had heard. I had heard a story that when Eric first got in the band, they were, I don't know, somewhere. They were on tour somewhere, and Eric hooked up with a journalist who talked him into getting naked and getting in the bathtub because she wanted to take pictures for just herself. And Eric
just herself.
Yeah. And Eric, not being versed in things like that at the time, well, he did it. And the next day, it was on the front page of the newspaper without makeup on. I believe he had sunglasses on in the picture, and I believe the picture doesn't show anything. It's just Eric Carr in a bathtub. But I tried to cross-reference that to see if this was the woman or not, and I couldn't find anything proving that it was the woman. So if any hooligans know if this is the woman that was talked about in that story, drop it in the comments below, please. It's definitely what I would call a dated photo. I think they were competing over who had bigger hair.
You could say that again.
It's really hard to look and see if Teresa is hot or not because of the loud outfit that Eric's wearing in this picture. But yeah, she does look pretty good to me.
Yeah, she definitely has the 80s frizzed up hair. All right, and then we get to Carrie Stevens. There's a lot of info on Carrie Stevens.
Smoke show.
Yeah, she's definitely a smoke show. He dated her in 1987. At the age of 17, Stevens met Eric, then drummer of rock band KISS, who was 37 at the time. She spent nearly 4 years in a relationship with Carr until his death in 1991. After moving to California, she appeared in a few print ads and commercials. Stevens then got her big modeling break when selected as a Playboy Playmate of the Month in June of 1997. She later appeared in March of 1999. Stevens' first television appearance was on the episode of daytime soap opera Days of Our Lives in 1992. I vaguely remember that. She has appeared in numerous television shows, including Sci-Fi Channel, Black Scorpion, along with an episode of Wild On for E! Entertainment Television. In addition, she has small roles in Pacific Blue, Beverly Hills 90210, and daytime TV drama Days of Our Lives, and 18 Wheels of Justice. She guest starred on Jake in Progress and 2.5 Men. Early in her acting career, Stevens appeared in several low-budget, straight-to-video erotic thrillers such as Dead End, Sins of Desire in 1993, with Tanya Roberts and Gail Thackeray. Point of Seduction, Body Chemistry 3, 1994, and with Morgan Fairchild and Jane Street in 1996. So she's a very, very versed actor. She's been in a lot of different things.
Playboy Playmates. Playboy Playmates.
Yep.
They are all over this episode.
That's for sure.
Was almost a prerequisite. And if you ask me, she's a complete and total smoke show.
All right. Now we get to Peter Criss. Peter Criss, Lydia D. Leonardo. Lydia was married to Peter from 1970 to 1979. Lydia went on to be the author and wrote a book about Peter and her marriage to him, named Sealed with a Kiss. For years, Lydia did the KISS convention circuit. And she has a very distinct accent, and the book is extremely expensive online. I remember trying to find it myself. She was a photographer. She caught a lot of great pictures of the band. I think that's why it's so expensive. But she's interesting. I watched an interview with her. I forget who was doing the interview. I think it was actually at a KISS convention, and they were showing it on video. And she's somebody who's very interesting. The stories that she could tell, she'd be interesting to listen to. That's for sure.
Yo, Lydia was hot back in the day. I think she was at least.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean,
definitely.
I haven't seen a picture of her. Like, this is a picture from the 70s, but she's definitely hot.
Yeah,
I've listened to a couple interviews with Lydia, and this is so juvenile of me, but I'm juvenile. Lydia's voice with that Italian Brooklyn accent,
big time.
oh my God. Oh my God. And you know what? And I gotta say this. The information that she has is good stuff. It's good stuff. There isn't a lot.
Yeah, it's an untapped resource. She has
Yeah.
a lot to offer. Next is Gail O'Connor. Not much info on her other than she was at least a semi-famous groupie in the 70s. She had a short relationship with Peter around 1977. She also had encounters with Gene Simmons, Jimmy Buffett, Paul Stanley, Pete Townsend, and Stephen Stills. So she was checking things off the list.
She's got a crazier taste in music than I do. How do you go from Peter Criss to Jimmy Buffett to Paul Stanley to Stephen Stills to Gene Simmons to Pete Townsend?
Yeah.
I guess that's the life of a groupie in the 70s.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. And then we got Deborah Jensen. Deborah was married to Peter from 1979 to 1994, and they have a daughter, Jenna Lee Criss. She was a Playboy magazine's Playmate of the Month for its January 1978 issue. Her centerfold was photographed by Phil Dixon. Jensen was also on the cover of the March 1978 issue of Playboy magazine. After her time as a Playboy model, she began modeling for Coppertone. More recently, Jensen has appeared on a couple of episodes of the reality TV series The Girls Next Door.
We're not going to sit here and say anything other than if you're a Playboy Playmate, you gotta be around the area of beautiful.
This next one is going to be there's quite a lot here. Sweet Connie Hamzy, a legendary groupie in the 70s and 80s. She allegedly was in a relationship with Peter in 1979 to 1980. She has also been in relationships or had encounters with, hold on to your seat, Geddy Lee, 1991, Paul Stanley, 1980, Edward Van Halen, 1979 to 1980. She had encounters with Vanilla Ice, Eddie Money, Frank Zappa, Stephen Pearcy, Robin Crosby, Paul Schaefer. Yeah, Paul Schaefer of David Letterman. Huey Lewis, Rick Springfield, Richard Carpenter, John McVie, Don Henley, Waylon Jennings, Doc Stevenson, Peter 1978, Peter Frampton 1976, Glenn Fry 1976, Joe Walsh 1975, Lindsey Buckingham 1975. Now we're on to the next page. Stephen Stills 1973, Graham Nash 1973, Keith Moon 1972, Leslie West of Mountain, 1972. John Bonham, 1972 of Zeppelin. Willie Nelson, 1972. Jimmy Page, 1971. And we've gone and on. Alex Van Halen, Greg Allman, Buddy Rich, Gene Simmons, Billy Gibbons, Bobby Keys, Ben Orr, Rick Nelson, Sammy Hagar, Dusty Hill, Mark Falmer, Bun E. Carlos, Neil Diamond, Neil Diamond, Frank Beard, Joseph L. Campbell, and Dwayne Allman. Connie Hamzy is also rumored to have hooked up with Bill Clinton. Yes, that Bill Clinton. In 1984. David Lee Roth, 1984. And Carlos Santana, 1976. Her alleged groupie escapades were detailed in the Cosmopolitan Profile in 1974. And in 92, she wrote a tell-all article for Penthouse. In his autobiography, Paul Schaefer describes a sexual encounter with her in Memphis during a Blues Brothers tour. She is mentioned in Grand Funk Railroad's song, We're an American Band. Last night in Little Rock put me in a haze. Sweet, sweet Connie doing her act. She had the whole show, and that's a natural fact. Hamzy published a memoir in 1995 under the title Rock Groupie, The Intimate Adventures of Sweet Connie from Little Rock, because she's all over the map.
So what you're telling me is Connie was on the road again in her 5.0. Oh, by the way, Sweet Connie, I think she's hot.
Oh, she's definitely hot. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call her a smoke show, but I definitely think she's hot. I can understand why both Willie Nelson and Vanilla Ice, and for that matter, Peter Criss and everybody else in pretty much in the industry was interested in her for at least 45 minutes.
Neil Diamond, Sammy Hagar,
Neil Diamond, Sammy Hagar,
Carlos Santana, David Lee Roth. Well, David Lee Roth. That's not surprising.
Yeah, she was a busy girl.
Crazy, absolutely. All right, so next, then Peter was with Gigi Criss. Gigi and Peter Criss have been married for 26 years since May 3rd, 1998.
Yeah, Gigi works pretty much as his de facto manager these days. And it's, most KISS fans should know that Peter is essentially retired and hopefully enjoying his retirement. So congratulations to Peter and Gigi for 26 years of being married.
Good for you, Peter.
It's nice to see Peter end up happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right. Next, it's the Space Ace, Ace Frehley. Jeanette Frehley. She was born Jeanette Teratola. She and Ace began dating in 1970 and were married on May 10th, 1976. They have one daughter, Monique Frehley, born July 9th, 1980. Jeanette is a co-writer of the song Speeding Back to My Baby, she does a really good job on that, from Ace's 1978 solo album, Ace Frehley.
I think Jeanette is a very pretty lady. I mean, the photos are from like the 70s, so who knows what she looks like today.
Right.
But with all due respect to the king of guitars, Ace Frehley, and I have 3 daughters, so as respectfully as possible, Monique is beautiful.
Yes.
She is straight out beautiful. She is in the movie Remedy. No, I have never seen it. I am going to try to find it because Ace does have a guest starring role in it. I know the movie did not do well, but Monique is in it. I don't know how significant her part is in it, but I do know she is, in my opinion at least, beautiful.
Oh, she is.
And Ace, please don't get mad at me. Did I say that Monique was beautiful?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Cool.
All right, so next Ace was with Linda Susbach. Not much can be found about her other than she is described as an American singer, and she has also had a relationship with Billy Idol. And yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, and we all have to rebel yell.
Yes.
Yeah, there wasn't much on Linda. It says she's an American singer, but I couldn't find anything other than that.
Next, we have Kim Rowe. She's an American model. She's famous for being in the Insane video by Ace Frehley. She also has some acting credits.
So before all the guys check out the picture of her, because she's a smoke show. But before anybody does that and tries to see her in Insane, I watched the video about 10 times. I couldn't pick her out. So if they're saying she's in the video,
Very small part.
I cannot confirm nor deny that, but I can confirm the fact that she is hot.
Yeah.
Good job,
I think
Ace.
so. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next, we have Audrey Hamilton. Was in a relationship with Ace in 1979 and 1980. So she was a groupie of Robert Plant during Led Zeppelin's 1977 U.S. tour.
Audrey looks young in this picture.
She looks extremely young.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Too
move
young.
on.
Too
Yeah,
young.
she looks too young. We're gonna move on. No jokes. No nothing.
All right. Next, we have Diane Cusano. Yes, the Diane that was also married to Vinnie Vincent. Apparently, Ace was in a relationship with Diane before she met Vinnie. It's interesting. The two KISS guitar players.
These guys were like passing off and sharing women. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I would date one of your ex-girlfriends.
The 70s were a different time, though. I mean, there was definitely like the peace and love and free, and then all of a sudden they had to pay the price for that with all the different things that came out.
Not that there's any loyalty between Ace and Vinny or anything, but I don't know that I would want to take Ace's leftovers if I was Vinny. In the case of one of these women, Paul, Gene, and Peter are listed. Like, at what point does somebody go, no, I'm going to pass?
Ace was also with Wendy Moore from 1998 to 2000. Wendy met Ace at the Key Club on Sunset Boulevard. Ace and Wendy hit it off immediately, and she ended up spending the night. Although Wendy had never done any drugs and hardly drank alcohol, she was easily persuaded by Ace to do cocaine together with him. Long story short, Wendy as quickly became addicted to cocaine as she became Ace's personal assistant and girlfriend. Wendy went on to write a book about their relationship that was less kind to Ace, Into the Void with Ace Frehley.
I read the book. It's not very kind to Ace. There's some things in that book that really sound incredibly far-fetched to me. I don't know how accurate Wendy's account.
Trying to sell a book.
Yeah, well, she goes over the top. She sounds like a scorned woman. That's how she came across to me in the book. Like, she had an axe to grind. She's a pretty lady. She's probably one of Ace's shortest relationships. The entire audiobook can be found on YouTube if you guys haven't read it and want to read it. I would just read that with a grain of salt myself.
Next is Rachel Gordon. Ace was with her from 2008 to 2019. Rachel Gordon is an actress known for Nudist Colony of the Dead, 1991. She's known to have a legal battle with Ace. Rockstar Ace Frehley, known for co-founding the band KISS, is now facing a domestic violence restraining order in San Diego County. My life has been threatened by him and people who he knows, said Rachel Gordon, Frehley's former girlfriend.
Yeah, so here's a little bit of what I know about Rachel. According to Gene, Paul, and Ace, she's a lunatic. I don't know whether she is or not. I know she was extremely outspoken in reference to any business issues with KISS. She did like her social media. She did like to spout off like she was Ace. I don't believe that she was very popular with the fan base because of that. And she definitely wasn't popular with Paul or Gene. I think more than once, Paul and Gene came out and said publicly, somebody shut her up. She's very pretty, and Ace spent a long time with her, but by the looks of the article there, I would say he might have wanted to skip it.
All right, next you have Laura Cove, 2018 to 2024. Elaborating on how he ended up in a relationship with a school teacher, Ace said he met her in December 7th, 2018 at a KISS convention in New Jersey that he was actually performing at.
So I was at that KISS convention. It was in Parsippany, New Jersey. It was standing room only. because there were no chairs there. But it was pretty packed, and it was a very good show. And the only other thing I got is Lara and Ace got engaged in about 2022, I believe, and broke off the engagement in, I think, roughly August of 2024. But Lara was good for him, at least from the outside. Lara seemed to be very grounding to him. I don't know that she was considered his manager, but she did seem to organize him and motivate him or help with that. Lara's pretty hot.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Maybe they worked that out. I like Lara.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like looking at Lara. Before we get done with Ace, is it me? But out of everybody on this list, because we're gonna get to Gene and Paul. And, the list is about that big. But Ace seems to me like out of everybody, Ace was in relationships with relatively, uh, normal's the wrong word, but um, he wasn't looking for Playboy playmates. He wasn't looking for celebrities. He wasn't looking for anything. He's the I don't know how to word it, but they seem to be the most normal of the bunch. I don't know. Does that say anything about Ace? That I don't know if it does or not, but you mean to tell me, and I'm not knocking anybody, but the rest of these guys can get Playboy playmates and Ace can't? Or Ace
Maybe he
wasn't
maybe he thought they were
interested in that?
he might have thought they were too superficial and he was looking to meet somebody with some substance.
Ace has got a pretty normal dating history.
I mean, here's the thing, like, and again, you could edit this part out, but have you ever dated a hot girl who was like annoying to be with?
Yeah, yeah.
I have, and
Yeah.
looks aren't everything, dude.
No, I don't think I'm going as much about looks as about status.
I understand that. They got to,
Look,
he's got to be with he's a rock star. He's got to be with a Playboy bunny and the status and all that.
I
But
mean,
I
especially
don't want
when
to be
you
hanging out,
get,
spend time with the person,
especially when you get to Gene and let's say Paul in the 80s, more than more than anything else. But it seems like Gene in total and Paul in the 80s, you had to be some kind of status symbol in some way for them to bother with you. I mean, it's either that or it's very good slash bad luck. I don't know. And in a lot of these cases, for Gene and Paul specifically, like we don't know how long these relationships lasted. They could have lasted 4 years. They could have lasted 45 minutes. The things you find on the internet are things like, they had an encounter. It just kind of grabbed me that Peter started with a normal woman, got married. Peter ended with a normal woman, got married. There's nothing but models in between. And uh, Paul and Jean are all about celebrities and status. And then Ace comes in and says, "Yeah, I met this woman at a KISS convention. She tried to sell me a mug.
Mhm.
She's a teacher. I got engaged to her." He just, to me, it grounds him a little more. Demon time.
Yeah, it's the demon time. Gene Simmons. All right, so now is where we're gonna get some retreads. Gene Simmons. So the first one, Gail O'Connor, see above. Right, she was
She was with Peter,
with Peter. Then next you have sweet Connie Hampson. I think you remember all the litany of people there,
including Peter.
including Peter. And then you had Devin D. Velasquez, again, see above, smoke show.
She is rumored to have been with Tommy.
All right.
I wonder if these guys talk about that.
I I would think they would.
You know, like how was Devin when you were with her?
Yeah, I would think. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing I know for sure, women definitely talk about it. So I'm sure guys, sure they probably did the same thing.
Hmm, I don't know. Maybe when we get Gene on the podcast, we'll ask him.
All right. So then we got Katie Seagal, one of my favorites. Yes, that Katie Seagal.
Smoke show.
She was a young waitress at the time of the relationship, and Gene ended up helping her secure a recording contract with Casablanca, and she went on to sing on Gene's solo album, which is interesting to me because I didn't even know that she was a singer. She was on Married with Children, Sons of Anarchy. I've always liked her, and I always thought she was a hottie.
Yeah, that Katie Seagal character on Sons of Anarchy, man. Complete
Black,
and total smoke show to me.
and she was good in that too, Black Widow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the other thing about her too is it looks like to me like Gene kind of opened the door for her to become a success in that world of entertainment.
Yeah, I was gonna save this, but I'll say this now at the Katie Seagal point. Another thing, I'm killing this, but another thing that I found interesting when you get past what these women look like and where their status is in society. Jean, none of these women have anything bad to say about Jean. I shouldn't say that. Most of these women have nothing bad to say about Jean. If you find, and they're out there, if you find an interview with Katie Seagal, a new one, and somebody brings up Gene Simmons, she has nothing bad to say about him. She gives him credit. Liza Minnelli does the same thing. Cher does the same thing. I'm giving away.
Yeah, but
I'm giving away. But these women,
it's a good point.
it seems to me like out of everybody, Gene and all you men out there, whether you're 15 years old or you're 95 years old, and some guys don't learn this ever. And in my case, I learned it late in life, unfortunately. Gene was always honest. Was always, it seemed like these are words that came out of Gene's mouth, but these are also words that came out of these women's mouth. Gene made it straight. He didn't want to get married. He didn't want to have any kids. He didn't want to be held down. He wanted to be free. He had his own reasons. Read the books, watch the interviews. It's really interesting to me, Gene's reasoning for this. But honesty gave him a certain amount of freedom that 40 years later, in the case of Katie Seagal, I think it was 1972 or 73. It's 2025. I just saw an interview with her from, I think, 2024, where somebody asked her about Gene Simmons. She, she it was like she rolled out the red carpet and said, "Oh, Gene, I love Gene. Gene's this. Gene helped me with that. Gene." Their relationship was a very short relationship, but then Gene went to Casablanca Records and said to Neil Bogart, "She's good, sign her." Then on top of that, when it came time for a solo record, he put her on it. Now, he put everybody on the solo record. If Walt Disney was still alive, Walt Disney would have been singing on the solo record. But the fact that it's very hard to come across any of these so-called celebrity women that have nothing bad to say about Gene at all, considering, upwards of 5,000 women, you would think that they would all be scorned. And it just seems like most of them are not. And it seems to me like that comes from Gene's honesty. Hey, I'm going to go on tour and I'm going to have a lot of sex. And then I'm going to come back and, we'll rehook up. I just think
It's definitely a good point to bring up because when you think of Gene Simmons, you think he is the epitome of misogynistic. So you would think that he would belittle women in some ways at times. And somehow, like you said, he's able to convey honesty, like, look, this is what I'm in this for. Don't hold on to anything. We're just having fun.
I think if what I just said is even close to being the actual truth, which again, what the hell do I know? Gene's not answering my calls, although I keep calling him.
All right. Next is Bonnie Large. 1973. She was a model and a Playboy and was Playboy magazines for March 1973. That's like a Daisy Duke look to me.
Oh, yes, Daisy Duke. That's exactly where I was going. I'd love to see her in a pair of Daisy Dukes. She's cute.
Absolutely. Then next you get Georgianne Walsh Ward. Gene was with her from 1972 to 1974. Not a lot of info on her other than she allegedly sued him for saying that she was a sex addict nymphomaniac. The suit was settled.
Like I said, most women have nothing bad to say about Gene.
All right, so now we got Star Stowe. He was with her from 75 to 1977. She dated Gene Simmons, and he sent her photos to Playboy. She was Playboy magazine's Playmate of the Month for its February 1977 issue, as well as taking part in a number of publicity shots for the band. Stowe also appeared on one of the band's picture discs.
Yep, she's hot. You can find the pictures of the photo shoot. It's a pretty substantial photo shoot. And she does look extremely hot in the photo shoot, by the way, with the rest of the band. It's not just with Gene, it's with the rest of the band. I love the fact that Gene picks the phone up, calls Hugh Hefner, and says, I got one for you. I wonder if Hugh Hefner called Gene when it came to Shannon Tweed and said, I got one for you.
Next, one of my all-time favorites, Cher, 1977 to 1980. Yes, that's Cher.
No.
No introduction. I know. No introduction. Cher was previously married to Greg Allman in 75 to 79, Sonny Bono, 64 to 75. Cher has also been in relationships with Ron Zimmerman, 2010 to 2012, Tim Medvets, 2009 to 2013, Richie Sambora, 1989 to 1990, Rob Camilletti, 1986 to 1989, Tom Cruise, which I didn't even remember that one, 1985, Val Kilmer, 1982 to 1984. Didn't know about that.
Got that Top Gun connection right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Both Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer.
Yeah, it was at that time too. David Geffen, 1974, 1975. Cher has had one night stands encounters with Emilia Dimo Ladenburg, 2023. Eric Clapton, 1995. Ron Duguay of the Rangers, hockey, 1982. Paul Michael Glazier, 1977. Anthony Kiedis, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Warren Beatty, 1963.
Where do I begin?
Yeah, I mean,
where do I begin? Here's where you begin with Cher. If you're listening to this, or if you're watching this, and you think to yourself, I don't think Cher's a smoke show, I encourage you to go find the music video for
If I Could Turn Back Time
and check that out. If you do not think that Cher is a smoke show after that, you need to make an appointment with your optometrist and get a checkup, in my humble opinion. They just did SNL 50.
Yeah.
It's a 50-year celebration of SNL, and I didn't watch the whole thing.
I'm not a big fan of SNL. I like the old ones with Eddie Murphy and Belushi and all that stuff.
I looked at the concert, and there was a couple cool things in the concert. Cher was performing. 78-year-old Cher came out on stage wearing an outfit very similar, not exactly the same, but very similar to the outfit that she wore in that video. And she rocked that shit at 78 years old.
I got to look at that. I got to check that out on YouTube. I didn't see that.
She absolutely rocked that shit. You take one look at her, and look, I understand, we're going to get back into the cosmetic surgery, and that she's had a ton. That's very well known. But dude, from head to toe, she looks like she's 50 years old. I think that Cher is a complete and total smoke show. And congratulations, Gene Simmons. You might be my hero for this one.
All right. So next we got Diana Ross, 1980 1983. She doesn't need any introduction. Gene met Diana Ross through Cher, who she was friends with, Diana Ross, and has been in relationships with John Voight, 2005, 2006, Richard Gere, didn't know that, 1977 to 1979, Michael Jackson, I knew that, 1977 to 1990. Wow, she was with Michael Jackson that long?
Nah, it goes back to the rumor thing.
Yeah, okay. Berry Gordy, 1963 1970. Smokey Robinson, Michael Bloomberg, Eddie Kendricks, Ryan O'Neal, and Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty again, he gets around.
No, Warren Beatty definitely gets around.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the Michael Bloomberg is the Michael Bloomberg that was New York City mayor.
I'll tell you one thing about Diana Ross. I mean, Donna Summers, in my opinion, is more beautiful. But Diana Ross, I love her voice. So all she would have to do is talk to me.
Yeah, I
Beautiful
can't
voice, man.
I can't say that I think Diana Ross is or was ever beautiful. Donna Summer was definitely beautiful. I guess the best way to explain it is Gene liked a lot of change. I don't feel like Cher and Diana Ross, by all accounts, they were very good friends. And Cher, I think, unknowingly steered Gene towards Diana Ross. The story that I heard was that Gene was in New York. He was living with Cher at the time in Los Angeles. He was in New York with the band for something, called Cher up, and it was around Christmas, and said that he didn't know what to get her for Christmas. And she told him, and I quote, "Hook up with my friend Diana Ross. She'll know exactly what I want." Well, obviously, she knew exactly what Cher wanted, and she found out exactly what Gene wanted.
And then next, it brings you to Wendy O. Williams, 1983 and 1984. Wendy O also should need no introduction. Gene produced 84 album Wow, and also co-wrote and was a ghost musician on the record. Williams once described herself as a marginal nymphomaniac and terminal exhibitionist. And she had a very sad ending to her life.
She did, but can you imagine putting Cher, Diana Ross, and Wendy O. Williams in the same room? It's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, Gene went from Cher to Diana Ross to Wendy O. Williams. That's not even in the same universe.
Hey, listen, there's how many flavors of ice cream? I like a lot of different flavors of ice cream.
Oh, Gene was trying to get all 57 multiple times.
Not trying, dude. 5,000 women, he got every single flavor.
I mean, he was just out there trying to like reinvent the wheel of women. And for everybody out there or anybody out there that doesn't know who Wendy O. Williams is, it's a really sad ending to her story, but it is also a very interesting story altogether. So if you get a chance, try to check out Wendy O. Williams' story. And she has a very, and I believe we've spoken about it in a past podcast. She has a very significant record to KISS fans, and that's, I believe it came out in 1984. It's WOW. It's produced by Gene Simmons. We've gone over this before, but just in case you're here for the first time, he produces it, he co-writes on it, he's the ghost musician on it, Ace is on it, Vinny's on it, Eric's on it, and Paul's on it. Like, it's an unofficial KISS record. It's very hard to come by on streaming platforms these days, but you can find it on YouTube.
And just adding to that, if you don't know, if you look at the history of KISS and you don't know this already, the Plasmatics are a big part of KISS's history. A lot of members had a lot of input and involvement on a lot of songs of KISS.
What other members?
Jean Beauvais,
Or Jean Beauvoir.
Beauvoir.
You're getting better though.
I'm trying. I'm working on it.
You've gone really far from Jean Beauvoir. we'll get you there.
Jean Beauvoir.
Jean Beauvoir.
Jean Beauvoir.
Jean.
All right, stay tuned, hooligans. We'll keep on working on that.
We're working on it. By about episode 300, he'll be able to pronounce Jean Beauvoir.
Maybe by then he'll be on the show and we can have a whole conversation and he can correct
Yeah, I'd
him
love
too.
to have him on the show. I actually tried to contact him.
All right, so next is Shannon Tweed.
Oh my God.
1983 to present, married with Gene. 2011 model and actress Miss Simmons should need no introduction.
Smoke show.
Yes. She was chosen to be the Playmate of the Month in November 1981 issue and eventually the Playmate of the Year for 1982. Tweed and her sister Tracy appeared together in a Playboy spread. Her and Jean have two grown children, Nick and Sophie, and also were on a reality show, Family Jewels, in case you don't know. And she is the one woman who has tamed the demon.
That's the truth. Before we even get into Shannon,
amazes me.
I think Tracy, her sister, is just as hot as her.
Yeah,
by the way. Yes, Shannon is a smoke show. Incredibly beautiful. I believe that Shannon is 67 years old. Don't quote me on that. But that is the hottest 67-year-old that I've ever seen, I think, in my entire life. I would feel like I didn't do my job if I didn't say this. No one had a harder job in life, in my opinion, than Shannon did. No one that I know of has ever been more loyal to anyone and dealt with more bullshit than Shannon did. And the fact that she's 67 years old, she stuck with him. She's still with him. She tamed him. She trained him. She tamed him. A lot of it was done publicly, as we all know. And there were some serious rough times in that. But I give Shannon a lot of credit. Shannon's not a nobody, not ugly. Like, she don't need to chase Gene Simmons around.
No, I think it's safe to say she made him a better man.
Absolutely. And I give a lot of credit for those women out there that stand by their man.
Yeah.
And she did that. And in turn, I think she finally tamed the beast. This episode is so much more about how it shaped the members of KISS than it is about, hey, high-fiving them because they got what they got. Because in the case of Shannon, she stuck with them. She kept her family intact. She took care of the kids. She did all that while he was running off being Gene Simmons. And you know what? When she'd finally had enough, she put her foot down and Gene put a ring on her finger. Good for her.
Yeah, and he had other reasons. Like, everybody wants to assume he was just a misogynist and that was it, and he was whatever. But we've seen enough interviews to know that Gene, his father, had a big impact on him never wanting to get married.
Gene never avoids saying anything about Ace or Peter's drug and alcohol addictions, but Gene never wants to talk about his sex addiction. Because when you have sex with 4,500 women and you have Shannon Tweed at home, you have issues.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I'm a man, okay? And I'm not only a man, but I'm a 50-year-old man. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind the female race is the master race because we are stupid.
I can agree with that.
We are a bunch of dummies.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to bang 4,500 women.
Bang you!
That don't look half as good as the woman that I have at home. You know what? I'll go out on a limb, and yes, I know she had plastic surgery. We don't know how much, but I'm go out on a limb and say that at roughly 67 years old, Shannon Tweed still looks better than the 4,500 women.
Yeah, but again, it's not. It's about the quest. It's about the. There's a lot of other things that do it for guys. It's not just about the looks, dude. You know what I mean?
Know. That's what makes us idiots.
It's the quest.
Right
Well,
now.
yes, that's true, but it's the quest.
I think Shannon's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you bring on Jessica Hahn, 1987. American model and actress. Hahn posed nude for Playboy November 1987, December 1987, and September 1988. And videos appeared in several television shows, including Married with Children. She frequently appeared on the Howard Stern Show throughout the late 80s and into 2000. Jessica Hahn has been in relationships with Sam Kinison and Mike Tramp. And she's definitely a smoke show.
Oh, she's a smoke show, all right. She is, anybody who doesn't know who Jessica Hahn is, mid 1980s video. Sam Kinison does Wild Thing, and she's all over the video, and she is a certified smoke show.
You got Linda Johansson, 1984, is a Norwegian businesswoman, former glamour model, former editor of softcore pornographic magazine Lek, Lek. Linda Johansson has also been in a relationship with Charlie Sheen.
She's had a colorful career.
Winning.
I wonder if she's got tiger blood.
I don't know. Maybe.
That's funny. I wonder if she got anything else from Charlie.
I don't know. Charlie does have good taste in chicks, that's for sure.
Yeah, look where it got him. Linda Johansson.
Yes.
She looks hot.
Yes.
It's a colorful career. Norwegian businesswoman, former glamour model, former editor of softcore porn magazine. Very interesting. Once again, goes back to Gene is like the United Nations.
Yeah.
And there's no type for him. The type seems like it's with a heartbeat.
All right. Next is Tracy Caval in 2003. TRACI. Caval. I don't know why that matters. Is an American porn star. She is famous for getting a lousy lay from Gene Simmons on tape. Not my words.
Yeah, I tried that. I got to give Gene credit. So here we're gonna give Gene Simmons credit right here. In doing research for this, I tried to find the Gene Simmons sex tape. I believe that he might be the first celebrity that ever successfully had it scrubbed from the internet. But Tracy's cute.
Yeah. Definitely has a look of a porn star.
Yeah, she's a very well-endowed female, trying to keep this as un-X-rated as possible and tasteful, but okay, we can move on to who's next. Oh, we get to Paul Stanley.
It's Paul Stanley time. Gail O'Connor, see above. She's been
shocker.
Around. Yep. Then
we gotta try to find Gail. We gotta try to find Gail and try to get her on this show and find out why Ace was left out. And then we got to try to hook Ace is single, so we got to try to hook Ace up with Gail so she can complete the band.
All right, next you got Sweet Connie Hansen again.
Hamsey.
Yeah, Hamsey. 1980, see above. She's been with everybody.
And she's been with everybody. Yep.
Yep. Terry Wagle. Then Paul was rumored to have been with Laura Branigan, best known for the song Gloria.
Gloria.
This one surprised me. Then he was with Mary Tyler Moore, well-known actress and star of the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Dude, both of them, I think. Laura Branigan and Mary Tyler Moore were both very shocking to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Laura Branigan is labeled as a rumor. And not that she's not cute, because she was cute back in the day. But
Paul tended to go for blondes too.
Yes. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
But Mary Tyler Moore was previously married to Robert Levine, Grant Tinker, Richard Meeker. Mary Tyler Moore was in a relationship with Steve Martin, Michael Lindsay Hogg, Warren Beatty, 1980 to 81. Mary Tyler Moore had an encounter with Paul Stanley. So one night stand, I guess.
I don't know why I think it's odd, but
It is
it's
definitely.
odd.
Yeah.
Like, and I went for an old picture of Mary Tyler Moore from like the 70s. She does not fit at all.
Yeah, I
She
mean,
fits less
yeah,
than Laura Branigan does. She
yeah.
doesn't fit physically. She's a celebrity. That's the only place that she really fits at all.
All right, which brings us to Holly Knight. She's an American songwriter. She's famous for her tenure as a member of 1980s pop groups Spider and Device. In addition to writing or co-writing several hit singles for other artists such as Ragdoll, Aerosmith, Obsession, Love is a Battlefield, Pat Benatar, The Best, Invincible, Better Be Good to Me, Tina Turner, The Warrior, and Change. In a career that spans 1980 to present, Holly Knight also has been in a relationship with Anton Fig.
There we go.
To me, she looks like a girl from like the Runaways. Like she definitely has that kind of like almost like a Joan Jett kind of look to her.
Holly Knight.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call Holly Knight a smoke show. I wouldn't call her beautiful. What I would call
I
her
like her.
is sexy looking.
Yeah, very sexy looking.
And you know, what better thing in the world than to have a little fun in the sack and then get a sandwich and write a song. That's how you get the job done when there's only 24 hours in a day and you're somebody like Paul Stanley.
Hmm?
At least Mary Tyler Moore, as she left the room, she could tell him a joke.
Honestly, if we ever had, it's never going to happen. If we ever had Paul for an interview, I think that'd be my first question. What was the deal with you and Mary Tyler Moore?
And that is exactly why we'll never get Paul on this podcast.
I guarantee it's a question he never thought he'd ever be asked.
Didn't I say this earlier in this episode about somebody else? Paul, we just want to warn you before we start. We're going to ask you questions nobody's ever asked you before.
Exactly. So if you want some freshness to the questions, you're going to get them.
I want you two to know that I've done over 5,000 interviews, and I doubt you're going to ask me a question that's never been asked before. Cool. What's the deal with you and Mary Tyler Moore? Guys, I'm busy.
All right. So after Holly Knight, he was with Carol Miller, 1977, American radio personality. Carol Miller has been in relationships with Jimmy Iovine, 1979 to 1981, and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, 71 to 74. She was also married to MTV VJ Mark J. Goodman. She's got a very familiar look to her.
I wonder if Mark Goodman was stuck playing videos of KISS knowing that his wife had slept with the lead singer. Mark Goodman didn't do bad.
No, she's cute. Paul was with Carol Kay, publicist, 1978. Not much info, but believe she was spoken about in Paul's book.
Yeah, I believe that Paul was very much enamored by her, and I believe she has a significant part in his book. She's cute.
She's cute. Then next we have Leslie Ann Warren, 1980s. She's an American actress, singer, and dancer. Was married to Michael Madsen in 84 to 88. I think I told you before, she reminds me of the girl from Bill Durham. I think it is.
Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, she's you're absolutely right. They look like twins.
Yeah.
She's hot.
Yeah, I find it very attractive.
Yep, she's hot.
Then we have Georgianne LePere, 1980 to 1982. She's an actress, has been in relationships with John Schneider, Dukes of Hazzard, right?
Yep.
John Schneider, Richard Dean Anderson, and Don Henley.
But Georgianne's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to find any ugly women in this.
Then we go to Donna Dixon. She's an American model, pageant winner, and former actress. Her acting credits include 2 seasons as Sunny Lumet in the television show Bosom Buddies, I remember it, and roles in Dr. Detroit. Dixon began her career as a model and was named Miss Virginia USA in 1976 and Miss District of Columbia World in 1977. She competed in both Miss USA 1976 and Miss World USA 1977. She was married to Dan Aykroyd 1983 to 2022, which is an interesting twist that she was with Paul Stanley and Dan Aykroyd, two completely different kind of guys.
She's beautiful, and she's also, I believe, got a large part in Paul's book. My take on it was Paul was in love with her.
And then we got Lisa Hartman.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Give me a minute.
84 to 85.
Lisa Hartman is a smoke show.
She's an American actress and
Oh, she's
singer.
an American, whatever she wants to be. Go ahead. You can
gained,
talk now.
It's okay. She gained prominence after a role in the primetime drama Knots Landing from 82 to 86.
Oh,
That was the one right after Dallas, right? They were like kind of connected in a way.
I don't know if they were connected, but that was Friday nights, baby.
That's what I'm saying. It was like right
Dukes
after
of Hazzard, Knots Landing, and Dallas. To be a
Weird.
kid in the 80s.
She recorded 4 solo albums between 76 and 87, and she's been married to country singer Clint Black since October 1991.
I think Lisa Hartman is absolutely beautiful. Congratulations, Paul Stanley. I do not usually like women with short hair.
Yeah, I don't like short hair. That's what I'm saying. I think she's definitely smoking, but I'd rather her have different hairstyle.
I like her just the way she is.
Paul was with Rita Ray Rocks, 1984. She was an author and famous groupie who wrote a book about her experiences. She has had encounters with Glenn Tipton, 1984, Carlos Cavarzo from Quiet Riot fame, 1984, Stephen Piercy of Rat, Adrian Smith of Maiden, Alec John Suck of Bon Jovi, such. Nikki Sixx, Phil Collen of Def Leppard, Peter Wolf, Billy Squire, Jakey Lee, Bret Michaels. She's also rumored to have hooked up with David Lee Roth also in 1982.
She looked like she was hot.
Mm.
She got dark hair, which, every one of these women that come up with dark hair is kind of shocking to me when it comes to Paul, because it's just so obvious.
Not really his thing. All right, then Paul was with Kathy St. George from 1985 to 1986, is an American model, actress, and makeup artist. She was a Playboy magazine Playmates of the Month for August 1982 issue. She has also been in relationships with Charlie Sheen from 88 to 89.
Oh boy, that girl tried to be in a relationship with Charlie Sheen when he was probably at his craziest.
Yeah, that's for sure.
She's hot, though.
Yes, she definitely is. Then you got Lydia Cornell, 1986, American actress, stand-up comedian, and writer, best known for her role as Sarah Rush on the ABC situation comedy Too Close for Comfort. Beautiful eyes. I love her eyes.
I don't know why, but I think she's beautiful.
She's mesmerizing.
Oh my God. Good job, Paul.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Good job. She probably lands in your top 3 or 4, I would think.
Like I said, she's mesmerizing. The overall look, her eyes. Oh man.
We're building right now, Hooligan Nation. We're building up
All
to
right.
the top of the mountain.
So now we got Eloise DeJoria, 1987 to 98. She's an American model, actress, producer, businesswoman, philanthropist, and as an actress, she is known for Weekend at Bernie's. She was chosen as Playboy's Playmate for April 1988.
There's another Playmate. Boy, it like if you didn't know any better, you'd swear Hugh Hefner had Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons on speed dial.
Yeah, I was going to say something. Very pretty.
But she's hot. But unfortunately, she precedes what I consider the champion, and I can't waste much of my time talking about Eloise when we're getting to the next one.
All right, so hooligans, there was a teaser early on in the video, and now before I read the information on the next one, he's going to start lifting this book closely, and when he does, I'm going to start singing some songs that she does. I want to have some fun. I want to have some fun.
Move my body all night long. Move my body all night long.
Samantha Fox. If you don't know, and if you haven't been paying attention, he's been into Samantha Fox since he was like 8 years old. Had posters on his wall, and Paul is the envy. His envy.
There is a picture of Samantha Fox in bed with Paul Stanley, making him truly my hero of the world. If I can't have her, Paul might as well have her. So good for him. Go ahead.
A quick little. So she's an English pop singer, former glamour model. She is famous for "Touch Me," in a career that spans 1983 to 1987 model, and 1986 to present singer, 1983 to 87 model, and 1983 present singer, 1990 present actress. She's been married twice, both to women, and came out as gay in the early 2000s.
Samantha, it's just me and you here. If you ever think about coming back over to the other side, consider me available, and I'll even be a backup dancer. I just wanted to talk directly to Samantha for a minute. Now, the rest of you guys that are watching this, you can jump back in and listen to the rest, but that was just between Samantha and I. Here's the cool thing. Samantha has a song written after her. Paul wrote Heart of Chrome. I believe it's on Revenge. It is either written in regards, I guess would be, because it's not very kind, but it's either written in regards to Samantha Fox, or there's a line in the lyrics that are written in regards to Samantha Fox. And as the story goes, as I say often, because who the hell knows whether any of this is the truth or not, Samantha, for whatever reason, allegedly sold voicemails to the BBC from Paul Stanley. I don't know what's on the voicemails, but it does appear as though Paul was not very happy about it and decided to put it in the lyrics for Heart of Chrome. So there's my useless information from the beautiful, endlessly talented, incredible Samantha Fox.
All right. So next we got Pamela Bowen, 1991 to 2001. Pamela is an American actress. She is famous for Everybody Loves Raymond. She and Stanley have one son, Evan, born in June 1994.
She's hot.
Yep.
She is definitely hot. She fits Paul's type completely.
The last two do. They look like twins.
Seems like it was a very expensive divorce for Paul, getting divorced to her.
You know, Pamela and Aaron look, I swear to God, they look like twins.
Yeah, they do.
So brings up the next one, Aaron Sutton, 2004 to present. It's Paul's current wife. Paul and Aaron have been married for 18 years, November 19th, 2005. They have two daughters and a son.
By all public accounts, Paul and Aaron seem to have a very good, very strong relationship. So congratulations to them for that.
Absolutely.
You know, if you do the deep diving on members of KISS like we do, and you've read the Paul Stanley books, and you've watched all the interviews and everything, Paul's a complicated human being. And it's actually nice to see Paul in his 70s happy.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's
content.
Content is the key word.
So with that being said, to wrap this puppy up, we thought it was an interesting subject. We thought it was a subject that really I couldn't find anybody else covering this ever. So we decided we're going to do it. And since, just for everybody to know in our complete transparency, as of right now, we're at 3 hours and 18 minutes of raw video. So the poor guy that's got to edit this, he's got to edit this down from 3 hours and 18 minutes. So that poor guy, I just want to put a message out to that guy. The check is in the mail.
And in all honesty, too, like KISS wanted to be the band that they never saw on stage. He wanted to put the episode that he never saw on a podcast.
Absolutely. Look, if you hate it, I'm sorry. If you love it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Please give us some comments telling us what you think. I guess that'll wrap it up for us.
Yeah, another thing too, like as far as the comments go, if you think of some stuff, episodes, you have ideas that you want that you want to see that you haven't seen or you'd like us to cover, definitely let us know about it. Because again, we're really enjoying the comments. The hooligans have been out in full force and putting a lot of comments into the episodes, and we want you to be a part of it. So definitely add your input. It definitely matters to us.
And Samantha, I bought your book. If you could stop by my house and autograph it for me, thanks a bunch.
Do it.
Oh, I'll do it. Don't ever forget. Never forget. I want to have some fun, move my body all night long. If it's too loud, you're too old. Peace out, Hooligan Nation.